this morning I would like to talk about two peas in a pot. Ordinarily I put 3 peas in the pot, but I decided to go on a diet. There was a mother in Nashville, Tennessee, who gave birth to a tiny, premature baby girl. The baby shortly caught pneumonia. Then soon after that, scarlet fever. And if that wasn't enough, she contracted polio. That left the little girl with a badly crippled leg and a foot that was twisted inward. At the age of 5, she hobbled about on metal braces, while other children ran outside and skipped rope. Well, at the age of 11, the crippled little girl asked her sister to stand watch at the door. Then she practiced walking without her braces. She didn't want her parents to catch her walking without them. For over a year, she kept this up. Then, feeling kind of guilty, she told her doctor what she was doing, and he was flabbergasted. He agreed to let her continue, but only for short periods of time. Well, her idea of short periods of time were quite different from the doctor's. She did it for hours on end, and during this time, she added prayer, talking with Jesus, and asking Jesus to help her walk normally. Well, soon after that, she threw away her braces for good and was walking. Well, this story fits well with the story of Jesus and Peter and his friends. Peter and his friends were professional fishermen who just fished all night. It's the best time to fish. And they probably threw in their nets 20 or 30 times that night and came up with nothing. So there they were washing their nets. And then Jesus got into their boat and started preaching. And then afterwards he told Peter and his partners, well, launch out into the deep and try again. And Peter said to Jesus, Master, we worked all night and caught nothing. And then he could have said, no, we're quitting. We're going home. We've had enough. But he didn't say that. He said, at your command, I will lower the nets. Now here is a carpenter telling professional fishermen how to fish. But they obey Jesus, and so we know the rest of the story. Well, there's an important lesson to learn here, I think. Without Jesus in our life, we will always come up empty. But once we allow Jesus into our life and listen to him, great things can happen to us. Our whole life really starts coming together, and a deep peace and joy comes over us. Peter and the rest of the disciples listened to Jesus and did not give up. They persevered. Well, now to continue the story of the little girl who learned to walk without her braces. Remember, she persevered. She did not give up trying to walk on her own, and she did. With perseverance and prayer to Jesus for help, she not only learned to walk, she started to run, and run she did. At the age of 16, this young girl, believe it or not, qualified for the Olympics in Melbourne, Australia. in 1956. And she went on to win the bronze medal in the 400-meter race. All this at the age of 16. But that's not the end of the story. 4 years later, at the Olympics in Rome, she made history. She became the first woman ever to win 3 gold medals in track and field. Some of you may remember her name, a few of us who are a little older. Her name was Wilma Rudolph. She had a ticker tape parade, a private audience with President Kennedy, and she won the Sullivan Award, the nation's top amateur athlete. Well, now for the 2 P's, back to the opening. The first P is simply, and most importantly, to pray. And the second P is to persevere. I can never spell persevere. I think it has an E on the end or whatever. Anyways, close enough. That's correct. Perseverance and prayer is an unbeatable combination. Peter persevered because he listened to Jesus and launched out into the deep to try again. And look what happened. Wilma Rudolph persevered and prayed to Jesus to help her walk again. And look what she accomplished. There's one thing that Jesus always tells us in the gospel, that when we pray, we have to persevere. We should not grow weary. Remember the story of the widow who went to the unjust judge to give her justice against her opponent. And he kept putting her off, but she kept persisting and persevering and wore him down. She hounded him until he finally took her case. And St. Benedict, in his rule for us monks, he says, those who persevere to the end will be saved. So those 2 peas in the pod must go together. Peter persevered at the word of Jesus and caught 2 boatloads of fish. Wilma Rudolph prayed and persevered and won 3 gold medals. Prayer, allowing Jesus to direct our lives, will really give us the strength and the courage that we need to persevere. But perseverance puts teeth into our prayer. It takes prayer out of the church and into our homes and our workplace and into our day-to-day relations with others. And there it will truly bear fruit for all eternity. Those who persevere to the end will be saved.